So, welcome to the sixth session of velocity and acceleration analysis by graphical method in module 2 of kinematics of machines. So, in this session, we are going to discuss what is instantaneous center method and how to find the velocities by using instantaneous center method. So, velocity analysis by instantaneous center method. So, this instantaneous center method is actually based on the concept that at any particular instant of motion of a body is equivalent to the rotation of the body about a fixed center in a space. So, this method is very useful in calculating the velocities of various links in a planar mechanism at any instant. So sometimes a body has a motion of rotation as well as translation, that is combination of both rotation as well as translation. For example, wheel of a car in such a motion will have a combined effect of rotation as well as translation. So in this video you can see, so this pointer, so this yellow pointer represent the instantaneous center. So for these two links, this instantaneous center is changing with respect to the configuration of the mechanism, and using this instantaneous center we can easily find the velocity of any link. So now consider a link AB. So here we are explaining how exactly the instantaneous center acts in a particular link. So for that, let us consider a link AB, so which moves from its initial position AB to A dash B dash. So you can see in the figure, the link first the motion of translation from AB to A dash B dash, and then the motion of rotation about A1 till it occupies the final position, that is A dash B1. So in actual practice what happens, the motion of link AB is so gradual that it is difficult to see the two separate motions, but we see the two separate motions through the point B, move faster than the point A. So thus this combined motion of rotation and translation of link AB may be assumed to be a motion of pure rotation about some center. Okay, so about some center I, known as the instantaneous center of rotation, or sometimes we call it as centro or virtual center. So that is, so so it is difficult to see the two different motions, translation and rotation. So AB is changing from initial position to the final position. So in order to reach its final position, so it has completed the two types of rotation. One is a translation motion, other one is rotational motion. So here we are going to assume that, so it has a pure rotation about a some common center I called the instantaneous center. So this is the instantaneous center, and this link is having pure rotational motion about this instantaneous center, so that both the translation and rotation will happens gradually. So this center is nothing but a instantaneous center. Next, so velocity of a point on a link by instantaneous center method. Now, in order to find or identify the velocity of a point on a link by instantaneous center method, so let us consider the 2 points A and B on a rigid link AB as shown in the figure. So let VA and VB be the velocities of points A and B, these points A and B. So in the direction as shown in the figure. So if VA is known in magnitude, that is the value of VA is known, and the direction, the value of that is a direction as well as magnitude and direction of VA is known, and VB in direction only. I don't know the magnitude of this VB. So then the value of this VB or magnitude of this VB can be found by using instantaneous center method as follows. So let us assume this link AB is having omega angular velocity. So that is, it is rotating with a angular velocity omega. So draw now draw perpendiculars to the direction of VA. Now draw the perpendicular to the direction of VA and VB. Okay, so draw the perpendicular line from the direction of this VA and VB. So wherever these two lines intersect, so we call it as a instantaneous center, and it is denoted by capital letter I. So which is nothing but, so these 2 points or these two velocities having a pure rotational motion with respect to this instantaneous center I. So we know that the linear velocity v is equals to radius multiplied by the angular velocity, and we can write this equation VA is equals to, because we have the two velocities VA and VB, therefore VA is equals to, so R is nothing but this radius, IA is the radius multiplied by the angular velocity. So R above equation can also be written as omega is equals to, that is angular velocity is equals to VA by IA. And similarly for the velocity VB, so we can write radius is nothing but this IB, length of this line IB multiplied by the angular velocity omega. So therefore this equation can also be written as VB is equals to IB into, in place of omega we can substitute VA by IA. Okay, so like this we can find the linear velocity, or suppose I know magnitude and direction of this VA, but for VB I know only direction, I don't know the magnitude. So using this equation easily we can find the magnitude of this VB. Suppose I have another point C on link AB, and its velocity is VC and acting in this direction. So I want to find either magnitude of this velocity. So similar procedure, draw a perpendicular line for this direction of velocity, and it intersect at a particular point. That intersection point is nothing but instantaneous center. So by using the same equation, that is v is equals to r into omega, so we can find the velocity of the point C, velocity of the point C. So therefore the general equation can be written as omega is equals to VA by IA, VB by IB, VC by IC, because this link AB or this element AB is rotating with the same angular velocity omega. Therefore we can relate all the equation with respect to the omega. So next one is number of instantaneous center in a mechanism. The number of instantaneous center in a kinematic chain or mechanism depends on the number of possible combination of two links. So it is nothing but if the mechanism is having a motion with respect to each link, so at particular instant, so it is having a some combination of two links. So therefore the number of instantaneous center in a mechanism which have n links will be equal to the possible pairs of two links taken at a time. So mathematically, the number of instantaneous center in a mechanism is given by capital N is equals to small n into n minus 1 divided by 2 So here in the above equation, capital N represent the number of instantaneous center in a mechanism, and small n represent number of links. Suppose we have a 4-bar mechanism like this. So this is the fixed one, fixed link or frame, always link number 1, crank is link number 2, connecting rod link number 3, rocker link number 4. So in the given case we have 4 links, therefore number of instantaneous center becomes number of links is equals to 4, 4, 4 minus 1 divided by 2, therefore n becomes 6. So for 4-bar mechanism, so we can have 6 instantaneous centers. So next one, properties of a instantaneous center. See, for this instantaneous center, we have certain properties. So let us see one by one. So first one is, in kinematic chain, each configuration of a link has only one instantaneous center, and it changes with the alteration of the mechanism. So with this example, I would like to explain this. So you can see the pointer of this instantaneous center is changing with respect to the change of the configuration. So which is nothing but as it moves, this mechanism moves, its configuration changes with respect to time. So as the configuration of the mechanism changes, so its instantaneous center also changes. So next one. So this instantaneous center is a center which has a pure rotational motion. So with respect to this pointer, you can see, so this link is having pure rotational motion. So these circles represent the rotational motion of the links. And for the sliders, especially for the sliders, since the slider is having a radius at infinity, so therefore its instantaneous center also located at infinity or lies at infinity. Next point. So instantaneous center is a point about which one body rotates relative to the other for a given position. Hence it is double point denoted by I12, I34, etc. So as I explained in the second point, so this links, so here we have 4 links. So each link is having a rotational motion with respect to other. So therefore instantaneous center is represented by double points I12, I34 like that. So next one. So by using this instantaneous center method, it is possible to find the velocity of any point of a body if direction of any two velocity is known and magnitude of any one velocity is known. So as we explained in the second slide, so if direction and magnitude of any one point is known or any one link is known, then so easily we can find out the magnitude of other link, but its direction should be known. So that is the one of the property of instantaneous center. Next, so this instantaneous center is a zero velocity point. So if you calculate the velocity of this instantaneous center, so it has a zero velocity, so it does not have any velocity. But using this instantaneous center, easily we can find the velocity of other links. Next, so this instantaneous center may lie inside the body or outside the body. So here in the video you can see, so it is changing with respect to the change of the configuration. So it is moving away from the links, then it is lying inside the body of the links. So that is the one of the property of a instantaneous center. So next one, types of instantaneous centers. So in a given mechanism, instantaneous centers are classified into 3 types. So first one is fixed instantaneous center, and second important type is permanent instantaneous center, and third one is neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous center. So the first two instantaneous center, that is fixed and permanent instantaneous centers, are called as primary instantaneous center, whereas third one is called a secondary instantaneous center. So in a mechanism, fixed and permanent instantaneous centers are located by observation only, whereas neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous centers are located by using Kennedy's theorem. So it will be discussed in the later slides. So here the instantaneous center, see this is a 4-bar mechanism. So for this 4-bar mechanism, so we can locate the instantaneous centers like this, so that the location of instantaneous center will be discussed in the later stage. So here I12 represent the instantaneous center of link 1 and link 2, I14 represent instantaneous center of link 1 and link 4, and I34 represent instantaneous center of link 4 and 3, and I23 represent instantaneous center of link 2 and link 3. So here I24 and I13, so these are called, so neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous center. So whereas I12 and I14, so in the figure I12 and I14 are called the fixed instantaneous center. So they do not change their position for all the configuration of the mechanism. Okay, so that's why they are called the fixed instantaneous center. Okay, so as the configuration changes, these instantaneous position will never change. So next one, this I23 and I34 are called a permanent instantaneous center. So because they moves when the mechanism moves, but the joints are the permanent in nature. Okay, these joints are permanent in nature. So therefore, these type of instantaneous centers are called permanent instantaneous center. So next one, so I13 and I24, I13 and I24 are called neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous centers, because they vary with the configuration of the mechanism. Means, see, this is one configuration, but as the crank rotates either towards left anti-clockwise or clockwise direction, so the position of these two will changes. So therefore they are called neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous centers. So another thing is, in these instantaneous centers, especially for the link 1 and 2, they are denoted by I12, and for link 1 and 4 it is denoted by I14. Similarly for these two links, link 3 and 4, I34, and link 2 and 3 it is I23. So next one, location of instantaneous center. So these instantaneous centers, which can be located by observation for the various types of motions, are as follows. So the first one, when two links are connected by pin joint. So here link number 1 and 2 are connected by pin joint. So then the instantaneous center lies on the center of a pin as shown in the figure. So here link 1 and 2 are connected at this junction, so pin joint. Therefore its instantaneous center lie at the junction of these two links. So that is represented by I12. So it should be pronounced as I12, not I12. So in the second case, when two links have pure rolling motion, so that is without a slipping on the fixed link. This is fixed link or frame. So this is a disc having a pure rolling motion without having any slip. So one example is rolling of a tire on road. So in this case, the instantaneous center lie on the point of contact. So this is the point of contact for link 2 and this fixed link. Therefore, its instantaneous center lies at the point of contact I12, that is instantaneous center of link 1 and 2. So in the third case, a slider is sliding on the flat surface in the horizontal direction. Okay, a slider is sliding on the flat surface in the horizontal direction, and we know that the slider is having a radius at infinite, or it's a radius, it is having a infinite radius. So therefore its instantaneous center lies at infinite. Okay, we have the 2 points A and B. For the point A, its instantaneous center at infinity, and similarly for the point B, its instantaneous center at infinity. So this is for slider. So next one is Arnold Kennedy's theorem, or sometimes it is called three centers in a line theorem. So this is very important theorem, and we have already discussed that fixed and permanent instantaneous centers are located by just observation, whereas neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous centers are located by using Kennedy's theorem. So the statement of this theorem is, if three bodies moves relatively to each other, they have three instantaneous centers, and all the instantaneous centers lie on a straight line. Okay, so in order to prove this one, so let us consider the three links. Let us consider the three links. Link number 1 is fixed, and link number 2 is pin jointed to link number 1, and link number 3 is pin jointed to link number 1. So here 1 and 2 are connected at A, whereas 3 and 1 are connected at B. Okay, and point P is the intersection of two links, that is a 2 and 3, and this point P belongs to both links 2 and 3. Okay, this is a common point which belongs to both the links 2 and 3. Suppose if we consider the point P on link 2. Okay, so this point belongs to link number 2, then its velocity is perpendicular to AP. So before that, the instantaneous center for link number 1 and 2 is I12, whereas instantaneous center for link number 3 and 1 is I13, and similarly for link number 2 and 3, its instantaneous center is I23. Okay, so this point P is common for 2 and 3, link number 2 and 3. Suppose if we consider this point P is on link number 2, then its velocity is perpendicular to AP. Okay, so this velocity is VP2. Whereas if we consider the point P on link number 3, then its velocity is perpendicular to this link BP, and this velocity is VP3. So it indicates that the velocity VP, okay, the velocity VP of this I23 is in different direction. So if you see the direction of VP2 in this direction, whereas VP3 direction is in this direction. Okay, so which is not possible. Hence, instantaneous center of 2 and 3 cannot be at assumed position of 2 and 3. So therefore it indicates that, so the direction, so in order to make these two direction same or similar, so this point must lie on the same straight line. So I12, I23, and here I23. Okay, suppose if it is move like this link moves in this direction, and at this point these two links become a straight line like this. So on that time its instantaneous center I23 becomes in line with I12 and I13. So this satisfies the Arnold-Kennedy theorem. So here in this case, in order to find the number of instantaneous center, we are going to use the equation n is equals to n minus 1, n into n minus 1 by 2. Since we have 3 links, therefore 3 into 3 minus 1 by 2. So therefore number of instantaneous center is 3. So here I12 and I13 are the fixed instantaneous center, whereas I23 is neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous center. So next one, angular velocity ratio theorem. So this theorem states that if angular velocity, that is omega, of a link y is known and velocity of a link x is to be determined, then we can write the generalized equation for velocity of a link x, that is v suffix x is equals to omega y into, so this is I instantaneous center 1 into y minus instantaneous center x into y. So using this equation, we can determine the angular velocity or the linear velocity of a link x. Similarly, generalized equation for angular velocity ratio is given by omega x by omega y is equals to I instantaneous center 1 into y into instantaneous center x into y divided by instantaneous center 1 into x into instantaneous center xy. Okay, suppose omega 4 is known, so we need to find the velocity of a link 2. Okay, so velocity of a link 2 we need to find. Velocity of link we need to find. So therefore x becomes 2, x becomes 2, whereas y becomes 4. Okay, so therefore v2 is equals to omega 4 I14 minus I24. I14 minus I24. So now we can find the velocity of a link 2. So if we know the angular velocity of a link 4. Similarly, so this equation, for this equation, um, omega 3 by omega 4, suppose x is 3 and y is 4, then I 14 into I 34 divided by I 13 into I 34. So like this, depending on the known and unknown values, so we can find the angular and the linear velocity. So next one, let us see how to locate the instantaneous center in a mechanism. So in order to locate the instantaneous center in a mechanism, let us consider a 4-bar mechanism ABCD as shown in the figure. So first and foremost important step is we have to find the number of instantaneous centers. So to find the number of instantaneous centers in a mechanism, consider the equation capital N is equals to n into n minus 1 divided by 2. So here number of links are, this is first link number 1, this is crank link number 2, connecting rod link number 3, rocker is link number 4. Therefore, small n is equals to 4. In place of small n, substitute 4. So therefore, number of instantaneous center is equals to 6. Okay. So it says that for the given mechanism there are 6 instantaneous center. So then we have to identify which are those 6 instantaneous centers. So for that, so we have to consider, or we have to construct a table. So this table procedure is called as a bookkeeping method. Okay, we have to follow the bookkeeping method. So in the first column we have to write the number of links. For the given mechanism we have the 4 links, therefore 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Next, so we have to do the combination of links to obtain the instantaneous center. So for that, consider the first combination 1 and 2. So it becomes I12. Next, consider the second combination I13. It becomes the second instantaneous center. Next, so third combination I14. So it becomes the third instantaneous center. So this the row is over. Row with respect to the first link is over. So coming to the second link, row with respect to the second link. So move forward direction, take the combination. So I23. So combination of link 2 3 gives the instantaneous center of the third instantaneous center. Next, so 2 4, which is nothing but instantaneous center of 2 and 4. So we don't have any other links, therefore, so for the second link we have only 2 instantaneous center. So coming to the third link, for the third link, so very next to it we have only one link, that is 4, therefore combination becomes 3 4. So this is nothing but I34. So we don't have any other links, therefore only one instantaneous center with respect to the third link. Coming to the fourth link, next to fourth link we don't have any links, therefore its instantaneous center is 0. Okay, so instantaneous center related to the fourth row is 0. So these are the 6 instantaneous center: I12, I13, I14, I23, I24, I34. So this is nothing but a bookkeeping method. So the next one is, so just by observation we have to locate the instantaneous centers. So we know that this is the fixed link, this is crank link number 2, this is link number 3, and link number 4. So link number 1 and 2 makes the first instantaneous center, that is I12. This is a fixed instantaneous center. Next, link number 1 and 4 makes the second fixed instantaneous center. So next one is link number 2 and 3 is I23, that is permanent instantaneous center of link number 2 and 3. So next one is link number 3 and 4 makes the next instantaneous center I34. So these two are a permanent instantaneous center, whereas this is the fixed instantaneous center. So out of 6 instantaneous center, just by observation we have located the 4 instantaneous center. So in order to locate the rest of the 2 instantaneous centers, so we have to follow the circle method. So now let us see what is the circle method. So first of all you construct a circle of any radius. So you take any radius, draw a circle. Okay, then now locate the points on the circle. So here the number of points on the circle depends on the number of links. For the given problem or for the given mechanism we have the 4 links, therefore we have to mark 4 points on the circle. So on the circumference of the circle mark the 4 points. This is the second step in the circle method. So third step is, here you can see between the links there is a connection. So 1 and 2 connected, 2 and 3 connected, 3 and 4 connected, 4 and 1 is connected. Therefore we have to connect 1 and 2. So join 1 and 2. This line represents the I12 instantaneous center of 1 and 2. Now connect 2 and 3. It represents the instantaneous center of 2 and 3. Next join 3 and 4. It represents I34, that is instantaneous center of 3 and 4. Next join 4 and 1. So it represents the instantaneous center of 1 and 4. So just by observation, we can locate these 4 instantaneous center. So remaining instantaneous centers are, one is I13, next to I24, correct, I13 and I24. So in order to find I13, so here in the circle diagram we have to connect this 1 and 3 because we have to find I13. So connect 1 and 3. So if we connect 1 and 3, so we are going to obtain the two triangle. This is upper triangle and this is lower triangle, correct? So in the upper triangle we have two values, I12 and I23. Again I repeat, so this line forms the two triangle. One is upper triangle and lower triangle. So lower triangle is a combination of I12 and I23, whereas lower triangle is a combination of I12 and I34. This is upper triangle and this is lower triangle. This line represent I13. Okay, so therefore I13 can be written as, it is a combination of upper, in the upper triangle we have I12 and I23. Therefore I12 and I23, which is nothing but, so next in the lower triangle we have I14 and I34. So this is nothing but extend the line I12 and I23. So in the configuration diagram or mechanism, so where is I12? This is I12 and this is I23, right? So extend this line I12 and I23, extend the line like this, extend the line, simply extend the line. So next, coming to the lower triangle, I14 and I34. So this is I14 and I34. So draw a line and extend it. Okay. So through this point, draw a line and extend it. So wherever these two lines intersect, which is nothing but I13. Okay. Wherever these two lines intersect, which is nothing but I13. So this is over. This is over. Next, we have to locate I24. Okay, so in order to locate I24 in the circle diagram, we have to connect 2 and 4, point 2 and 4. So if we connect this 2 and 4, it forms two triangle. This is upper triangle, this is upper triangle and this is lower triangle. For the upper triangle, it is a combination of I12 and I14, whereas lower triangle I23 and I34. This line represent I24, instantaneous center of link 2 and 4. So for upper triangle, I12 and I14. For lower triangle, it is I23 and I34. It is nothing but, so we have to continue this line I12 and I14. Where is I12? This is I12 and this is I14. So draw a continuous line which passes through this point and extend it. Okay, simply extend the line. So next, coming to the lower triangle, that is I23 and I34. This is I23 and I34. These 2 point. So along with these 2 point, draw a line and extend it till it reaches this line. So intersection of these two line is nothing but I24. So like this we can represent the fixed instantaneous center, permanent instantaneous center, neither fixed nor instantaneous centers. So in order to fix these 2 points, that is neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous center, we have to follow this circle method. So it is very, it becomes easy if we follow this circle method.